What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Animation Revaluation Podcast. I am your host, Lizer, and with me this week is James. What's up, James?
Hey, how's it going, guys? How's it going?
Going good, man. Going good. Once again, as we mentioned last week, Jay isn't here. He's on vacation. But he has given me his choice for next week, which I'll present at the end. And he'll be back for the next episode, so look forward to that. But today is just us, man. How you feeling?
It is. Not as great as last week, but it's still all in all pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, you were like riding a high last week. You felt pretty good.
I know. It was. I want to say it's almost 2 for 2.
Almost 2 for 2. Good to hear.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Valheim. Really getting into that. I don't know. It's a bit relaxed. I can find I can understand like people like Minecraft and just building, just chilling with like friends and whatever. It's just very very peaceful. Very kind of like I've been using it kind of to like unwind and whatever.
Yeah, man. That's what those games are pretty much for. Like they're marketed to kids and stuff, like Minecraft and stuff. But it's great for like you come home from a long day of work and you just want to chill, you know?
Yeah.
I get it.
How are you, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. I had a week of work and I'm just ready to enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, my back hurts. I'm getting old.
I know.
Don't say I know. You're supposed to say no. You're not old.
I know. It's just like I can't lie. It's just
Man, fuck you.
Yeah.
I hate it here.
A lot. Well, that's why that you have like that postures check, right? Or like
No.
hydrated. No, you have a posture check.
I do have a posture check, but that's just like default on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
It's just there. I mean, I could take it out, but why? I have a posture check because I sit at my desk like a gremlin, and I'm like, yeah, I'm playing video games, and people are like, your posture. I'm like, oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, my bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's a big contributor why like my back hurts because like when I get home, I'm just like hunched over like fucking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
My back hurts because I'm always carrying this podcast. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, but no, I've had a good week. I'm feeling pretty alright. And I got to watch one of my favorite things this week, which is the movie we saw, Batman Under the Red Hood, which I hope you enjoyed, man.
I'm gonna say right now, I watched it already, and I already knew it was a good pick.
Yeah,
And I was like, nice.
Yeah.
I wish it was. I mean, it was so nice. Like, I feel like it ended pretty like quickly. Like, I feel like it hooked me in right away, and then next thing I knew, it was already over.
Yeah. Like, no, I want more. Don't go yet. Like, don't leave me.
It's not like it didn't like answer any of my questions or anything. Like last week's episode movie.
Yeah, where it just ends. It's just
yeah. This I mean, it covered all the bases and everything. It's just like it hooked me. It had the story. It had like the animation, like everything. Everything clicked for me. Even like there were like actually several like well named voice actors that I recognized that I forgot were in it.
Yeah. So let's jump into it. So obviously, Batman Under the Red Hood features Batman. Wow, big surprise there. But the real standout from this movie is the Red Hood. Now, the Red Hood in both comic continuity and continuity of this movie was originally the Joker, right? So back before he was the Joker, he would run around. Not even would, because consensus seems to be it was like a one-time thing where he was doing something for the mob, to get out of some debts. It was supposed to be a one-time thing. They put him in this red hood and cape, and you know, he meets Batman, falls into the vat. That's how his skin gets bleached. Now we have this new person running around under the name of Red Hood, and it is not the person that originally wore it. This is a completely different outfit. This is more militaristic. The Joker says that it's like biker fetish or something like that.
Yeah, but definitely a biker fetish.
Yeah.
And I think Joker had a cape. At least I don't even think he was going on. Well, he had a different name or whatever, but wasn't it just like a red helmet and a cape?
Yeah, it was
If I
like a,
remember?
a glass dome that was red that they just put over his head, and a
Yeah.
cape, and then like a, like a regular 2-piece suit or something. Like it was a
Yeah.
fancy dress, like a
Yeah.
maitre d, like he says in the movie.
Oh, but I don't know what a maitre d is.
You go to a fancy restaurant, the guy's like, "Do you have a reservation?"
Okay.
That guy. Yeah, that's a maitre d.
Oh, okay. I don't go to a lot of fancy restaurants.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've seen them in movies.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's
Yeah.
it's the one guy with the mustache.
Oh, they always have a mustache.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're introduced to Red Hood, and basically what he does is he gets like the biggest drug dealers in Gotham all together. They're all sitting at a table in like a warehouse or something, and they're all like, "Well, who started this meeting up? Was it you? No, it wasn't me. Was it you? No, I thought it was you." And they're all like questioning what's happening. And he comes out from above on these rafters. And he's like, "Hey, I'm the one who did it. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna stop selling to children. You're gonna kick up 40% of all profits to me. I'm your new boss. I'll protect you. Blah blah blah." And they're all like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We work for Black Mask. Like, there's no way." So he throws down this duffel bag onto the table, and they open it up. One of them immediately throws up. Another one's like, "Oh my god!" And inside is apparently the heads of all their lieutenants. They're like top dudes in their field. And he's like, "I did that in like a couple hours. Imagine what I can do in a whole evening." And then he just starts like shooting up the table to scare them, and disappears.
Using an AK-47.
Yeah, he's using an AK-47.
But he like to point it out.
Yeah. They're like, "There's easier ways to die." He's like, "Yeah, you're saying that to the guy holding the AK-47. So he like uses scare tactics and basically gets all these guys to work for him. And as I said before, they're all working for Black Mask. Let me show him now. There's Black Mask. Black Mask, if you don't know, like Batman lore, was part of a crime family. Had a history of like doing crimes in a black mask. One day it got like fucking melted onto his face or something like that, and he's had it stuck like that ever since. So that's like his actual face now. Yeah, but his real name is Roman Sionis.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he's like big time gangster, drug lord type of thing. Constantly getting followed by Batman, of course. So then we move over to finally get to see Batman himself, right? And he's stopping these guys from doing some kind of delivery. He doesn't know what's in the box per se that they have, but he knows that it's not right, and he's gonna stop them. So he stops them. The box like crashes, and he's like, "Oh, tell me what it is that you have. Who are you working for?" And they're like, "We don't work for anyone." He's like, "Bullshit. Of course you work for someone. You're just like a normal street thug, and this is way out of your pay grade. Like, you're working for someone." But they're like so intimidated that they don't want to say it to Batman, who is usually the most intimidating person. So, box opens up, and inside is what looks to be a monster, but it's not. It's actually just a robot called Amazo.
Amazing.
And he pops out, and he's this like huge hulking thing, and the guy who is driving the car is like, "What the fuck is that?" And Batman explains to him like what his cargo was. It's like, "Oh, that's Amazo. It's basically this hyper robot thing that's able to absorb the powers of superhumans." The guy's like, "Superhumans? What kind?" And Amazo just like slams the ground and creates an earthquake, and like debris just goes flying everywhere. And Batman's just like, "Big ones." So he's getting ready to start, fighting the thing. And then we're introduced to Nightwing. Nightwing pops in and is like, "Hey, you need some help?" Batman's like, "No." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna help anyway." And if you don't know who Nightwing is, he is the OG Robin. They even say it like the thugs are tied up. They're like, "Who's that?"
No,
It's like that's
I
that's
noticed that.
Nightwing. That's his original partner, the first Robin. It's like,
I thought that was so weird for two thugs to say this.
Yeah, I was like,
oh,
how do they
you
even
look-
know that? That's not supposed to be common knowledge. It's
I
common knowledge
know.
to like people who know the comics and the series and stuff, but like they're not supposed to know that, to my knowledge.
It's like, do you know who that is? That's Lizerville.
Whoa,
the
the
VTuber.
VTuber! Holy shit!
That's exactly what I felt like.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck?
I know.
But
That's
they
so
go
funny
up.
though.
Yeah, they go up. They start fighting the Amazo. Obviously, they get the better hand over it. This is not the main villain of the movie, so they take care of it pretty quickly. And it's good to see like the teamwork after years of them working together. Like obviously, they still know how to work together very well.
I mean, Dick is pretty a chatterbox. At least that's what he says. Like he just keeps like every little thing he would like throw like a comment
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah, there's one point in the movie he's like, you know what I really missed about working with you? The toys. He's just like holding like one of Batman's gadgets.
Yeah, I thought that was so hilarious.
We haven't said it yet, but he's Nightwing's actually being played by Neil Patrick Harris in this. And I think he plays a very good Nightwing, to be honest.
Thought so.
Yeah, I think he plays the role very well. But yeah, they beat the Amazo. They go back and they start asking the thugs, and they're like, "Oh, we don't work for anyone, you know." So they actually hooked up the Amazo to like a line, and they drop it so that it can like fall, and all its oil starts like bleeding out onto the thugs, and they're freaking out. They're like, "Oh, I'll tell you, it's Red Hood. Red Hood is taking over Black Mass, stations, his areas and stuff." And then suddenly 3 shots ring out, and all 3 guys are dead. And Nightwing and Batman hide, and they're like, "Oh, it's a sniper." Batman takes out his goggles, sees the sniper running, and that's when you see it's Red Hood. So he books it on the Batwing, starts chasing Red Hood, who like hops in a car. And fun fact here, the car that Red Hood drives is a Chevy Impala, and that's a reference to his voice actor. Yeah.
I did notice that.
Yeah. So Jensen Ackles, obviously very well known for being in Supernatural as Dean Winchester, driving the Chevy Impala.
I was so happy when I was like, yeah, that's fucking Dean. That's Dean Winchester. But also, like, especially now you tell me it's the, like, I mean, like it was blue, but I mean, like, the fact it was an Impala, and then like when he ripped open since it looked like almost like a convertible in a sense, but it wasn't. But just because of the hood just ripped off, I was like, damn, that was suck.
But yeah, that's him. Me personally, I've never seen Supernatural aside from a few episodes, but yeah, I know of him. I know the importance. So yeah, Jensen Ackles plays Red Hood in this movie. Does a very good job too.
I think he did a great job. Like,
Yeah.
and I think like even like Neil Patrick Harris did pretty good as Nightwing, but like him as Red Hood, I think it was like a perfect fit.
Yeah, I think he was probably the best one in the movie, honestly.
Like, I don't know if this was like during or like before Supernatural or it would have to be during.
Yeah, this
I
was
would
during
imagine.
Supernatural.
But like it's like he kind of fits the character because like he's very Dean, as Red Hood. Like he's like he does good, but he also can do bad, but in the name of good.
Yeah.
So it's just like it definitely had big Dean Winchester vibes when I was looking at this version of Red Hood.
So Batman chases him on this ride. Like Red Hood is driving the Impala, Batman's in the Batwing. I don't know how the fuck he can't keep up with him. It's a fucking super speed plane versus a car, but okay. And eventually they go to what I'm going to assume is Ace Chemicals. They don't explicitly state it, but that's usually what it is in the backstory. And that's where the Joker had originally fell into the vat of chemicals while wearing the Red Hood garb. And they go to the point where he fell, where you can see like a new fence erected because it's cleaner than all the other ones. And Batman has the flashback of that happening, and Red Hood says out loud like, "Oh, this is the place of probably your biggest failure. How does it feel to be back here?" Like he's taunting him basically. Batman tries to get him, car explodes because it crashed into a vat of chemicals, and Red Hood gets away. So Batman goes back to the Batcave and like regroups with Nightwing, and they are trying to figure out like what's the next move here. I think there's what, 2 big chase sequences between Batman, Nightwing, and Red Hood, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the next one would actually be, I don't even remember how it starts. I think they stopped him from taking all of Black Mask's guns, right?
Yeah. So it's pretty much like a big thing for him to get into power. It's just because he's the head honcho. So he needed at least a little. He had to steal from Black Mask. I mean, it's all like planned out. But
Yeah.
he definitely.
But the funny thing is, though, you find out that he didn't even want the guns because he destroys them.
Yeah, it's just
It was just like a power move. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they end up chasing him throughout the city, and it ends up like at one point Batman throws like this batarang that has like a rope attached to it to try to catch Red Hood, and he's able to cut the wire before it like goes taut around his leg. So that like Nightwing the whole time is pointing out like, wow, this guy's good. Like that's stuff that nobody really knows how to do.
Be obvious.
Yeah, you know? But then it all culminates at like a subway station basically, and they lose sight of Red Hood. They're standing like on the tracks, and then they see that there's a bomb, so they duck out of the way. Nightwing hurts his ankle and can't get up, and then Red Hood is seen there on a motorcycle, and a train is coming, and just before the train comes and blocks their view, he's like, you still got the moves or something like that, and then he says something else, but the train garbles it out. So Batman, sorry.
Spoiler.
Oh no, I spoiled that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He's gonna find me. So they retreat back so Nightwing can get his leg fixed up, and Batman can review like footage of the night, and they're pointing out like when he cut the rope. It's like Nightwing's saying like, yeah, so people don't know that you're supposed to do it before it gets taut, because otherwise you can't, blah blah blah. And Batman points out like, it's not just that. How many knives do you know can cut through one of my ropes? And then this is like, oh, good point. That's not something anyone really knows about. Again, stating the obvious.
Yeah.
So Batman's like, go rest up. It's fine. I got it from here. He's trying to be nice, but really he wants Alfred and Nightwing out. Let me show Alfred, by the way.
I like how it was like it was very similar to like in the animated series. He's a little kind of like funny, like almost like not like sarcastic, but kind of like, you know what I mean? Kind of like in the animated series, he's just like he'd always make these little quips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was like very similar to that.
Funny you say that, because I'm not sure of where this stands, but usually when Bruce Timm works on an animated Batman thing like this, people are debating whether or not it's canon to the animated series. So like when they did Batman and Harley Quinn, that is technically canon to the animated series because it's Bruce Timm working on it. He wrote the whole thing on his own, and they brought back the old voice actors for it. So it's supposed to be like in universe. This is not the old voice actors, but it is Bruce Timm, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to be canon or not. I mean, I like the movie either way, so whatever.
Me too.
But yeah, he gets Alfred and Nightwing to leave, and he starts reviewing the footage of when Red Hood was saying like, hey, nice try, whatever, like you still got the moves. And then he was cut off by the train. So he has the audio file. He's like trying to splice the train noise from Red Hood's voice, and he finally doesn't, and he says like, oh, you still got the moves, Bruce. And that's when Batman starts freaking out. It's like, oh shit, like he knows my identity. And we start getting flashbacks throughout this movie. They're like sprinkled in. Like the movie actually opens on something in the past, and that is the death of Jason Todd, who was the second Robin. And they were in like some foreign country. I don't even remember which one they said. Batman was off dealing with one thing, and Jason was captured by the Joker. and beaten half to death with a crowbar, left in a warehouse, and was told by the Joker, like, hey, send a message to the Bat for me. I don't even remember what he said to tell him. He's fucking Draken. And then he leaves him in there. Jason tries to get out, but the door is locked and there's a bomb. So Batman is rushing in to save him, but just as Batman shows up at the warehouse, the bomb goes off and Jason dies. So that's like Batman's greatest failure in his head. And since you showed Draken, let me see if I have a picture of the Joker. There you go. Let's see if it loads. Come on, baby. You can do it. Yeah. Hey. So that's the Joker right there, played by, you know, the same guy who did Dr. Draken, or, you know, Jake from Adventure Time, Bender from Futurama, John DiMaggio. So yeah, Batman sees that as like his greatest failure, basically, and it's like, you know, flashbacks to Jason are sprinkled throughout the movie. We get to see like when Batman first met him, he was like a little kid who stole the tires off the Batmobile. We got to see like the first time he put on his Robin gear and like fought the Riddler, and he was like playful. And then as he got older, like let me show him as a kid. It's like young Robin, young Jason Robin, yeah, in his like tidy whitey Robin outfit.
Yeah, very Robin.
Yeah, and then teen Jason right there, who was like more aggressive. Like there was one point he was supposed to just like stop someone, but he ended up like breaking their collarbone. And Batman like freaked out about it, and it's like, hey, we could have gotten information, but you put him in shock. And Jason like realized that what he did was wrong, but it seemed like he was having, you know, trouble controlling his anger.
Yeah, angsty teen.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, they have like he starts to suspect that this Red Hood person might be someone he knows, obviously because of him knowing his name and knowing his tactics and all that. So it gets to a point where, because he keeps targeting Black Mask sends assassins after Red Hood, and Red Hood starts fighting them, and it seems like he's losing, but he actually says that he's just buying time because he knew Batman was gonna come. And Batman shows up and they start fighting all the assassins. Jason actually kills one of them. I mean, whoops. Red Hood kills one of them. And Batman's upset about that, but he gets away. And Batman sees that one of their swords has Red Hood's blood on it. So he takes it home, analyzes it, and sure enough, it matches Jason. Alfred sees this and is just like immediately grief-stricken. Drops like his platter that he had. And Batman's just pissed off. So he's like, he should have checked the body, blah blah blah. It was a stupid mistake. So they dig up Jason's corpse, I guess, his casket, open it up, and the body's in there. So Alfred's like, oh, thank God, it must have been a fluke or something. And Batman picks it up. It's like, no, that's not him. It's actually like high quality latex, and it's a dummy body. So he takes a trip to the person who did this, and we find out that that's actually Ra's al Ghul. Here he is.
Is it Raish? I always call him Raj.
Raj? That's how they said
Raj
it in like the CW shows, Raz, but it's Raish.
Yeah, like that's how they always say Raz, so I'm like I always say like Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, I used to hate that. I used to hate like when I was watching Arrow and they were saying that. I hated that shit because it's Raish. It's definitely Raish.
Oh, okay.
And if you guys don't know the backstory on Ra's al Ghul, he's been around for centuries. He has basically immortality. Like, he can die, but he can be resurrected through these like magical pools of water called the Lazarus Pool.
It's the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, the Lazarus Pits. My bad. And they're like a bunch of them scattered throughout the world, and he uses them to his advantage. He's ruled over this like group of assassins for years. And he's, you know, kind of a common enemy for Batman. So we find out that everything that happened in that like foreign country that they went to was actually a plan by Raish. He was planning to topple like their banks or something like that, and he brought Joker along to distract Batman, thinking that he could control him, but it actually went out of control and he ended up killing Jason, and Raish regretted that, so he sought to repay Batman. So he promised to never bother Batman again with any of his like crimes or anything. You know, he would never clash with him again, and he wanted to bring Jason back to life, so he ended up stealing the body. Now, it's in the comics and a lot of the other media, it's said that continued use of the Lazarus Pit will degrade your mind over years and you like slowly go crazy, and that's why like sometimes Raish is depicted as being more evil or more unhinged because he's been doing it so long.
It's a little downplayed in this movie. I thought he felt very like mild mannered, you know. So, but like usually the way like I know him, it's just he's a lot more vicious. He's like he's the head of the League of Assassins, and I'm like, and that's like where Batman learned how to like fight and train. At least I think that's where he trained.
Yeah, usually that's how it's depicted. Well, usually when it comes to Raish, you usually see him starting out like this, and he's a very tactful, you know, well-mannered and well-represented person. But over the course of years of fighting with Batman and constantly, like, he basically dies all the time because he knows he can come back. So he takes these huge risks, and things usually kill him, and he's brought back. So it actually, as time goes on, he becomes more and more unhinged. But usually he's more like this. Maybe more ruthless, but I'm sure he was ruthless in this universe, but he's like regretting what happened to Jason, so he's not anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, he takes Jason's body and he dips it in the Lazarus Pit, and it doesn't work how he expects it to. See, Jason comes back, but he has like fractured psyche, basically. He doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know where he is, he's just screaming, he starts throwing up, he has to get out. So he like fights off some of the guards, and he ends up jumping out of a window that's like hundreds of feet up in the air, and he falls into like this ravine, never to be found. So Raish just assumed that he died again, and he could never find the corpse. But it actually turns out that he survived, and all these years later, he's come back as Red Hood to seek vengeance on Batman. So Raish feels like this is his fault still, so he still regrets what happened. And he tries to make that known to Batman, but Batman pulls a Batman and just disappears without Raish knowing.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. And then we basically, you know, Joker's broken out of prison by Black Mask. He comes up with this plan to like take Red Hood out, but it was actually Red Hood's plan all along to get the Joker out. He kidnaps the Joker, takes him to some apartment, starts beating the shit out of him with a crowbar, like what was done to him, ties him up, and then meets up with Batman. And that's when it's, you know, finally 100% revealed that it's him. He takes his hood off and has the big revelation, like, oh, it's me. You know, they start battling it out. It's pretty even. They each get rid of each other's like gadgets and stuff. He cuts off Batman's belt. Batman burns his jacket where he keeps like all his extra guns and stuff. And they're just straight up duking it out. Like they're fighting on a church rooftop, and things are exploding and catching fire. They go down to the street. They like, Jason jumps through a window and that leads into a bathroom, and they have like a no holds barred match in there, freaking bashing faces into toilets and stuff like that. Like it was kind of a brutal fight. Like I kind of wish that the rating was a little higher so they could show the blood and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because he definitely should have lost some teeth when he hit like the sink and then the toilet.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like that was pretty bad. So yeah, they're fighting and everything, and then Batman gets the upper hand, and Jason pulls out the guns and like kind of holds him up, and Batman keeps his distance, and he's like, you know, I'm sorry for what happened to you, Jason. You know, I never wanted that. I failed you, blah blah blah, the usual Batman stuff. And Jason busts open the closet and he's like, I forgive you for not saving me, but why did you not kill the Joker? Here it is. Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me, but why on God's earth is he still alive? And he reveals the Joker in there. And he's basically calling Batman a big pussy for not killing the Joker for what he did to him. Not only just for what he did to him, but just in general, like the Joker has killed hundreds and hundreds of people and has no remorse. He's just a monster, basically.
Yeah, like no matter every time that like Batman puts him away in Arkham, he escapes, kills more people, and it's just like a constant loop.
Yeah, he's always gonna come back. There's always gonna be more death and destruction. Like, come on, just snap his neck. And he's just basically asking like, why didn't you do it? Like, is it because of your moral code? Is it too hard for you? And I think it's one of the like deepest lines in like any Batman lore is, no, it's not hard. Like, God, no, it's too fucking easy. It's like, once I do that, that's it. I'm no better, and it won't stop. It's like, do you know how many times I wake up just thinking about ending him and like doing to him everything that he's done to other people?
That was a great concern.
It's so good. I love that moment so much, to like delve into Bruce's mind as to why he does these things or why he doesn't do certain things, you know?
There's a similar scene, but I think it might have been like an episode of the Justice League where I think they were just talking about like Shazam like being in the Justice League because he's like too young, and then he just roped it around being like Robin, I did the same thing with all the Robins, and then I think Wonder Woman, it's like, why, so like they can end up like you, and he's like, no, it's so that they don't.
Yeah.
Which I also was like, I feel like it was like in the same line, because like he doesn't, like he sees like these kids, especially like, what was it, just a little backstory, at least from what I know from the first Robin, that like his parents died, right, like from
Yeah,
like
the trapeze accident.
the trapeze accident. And then with Jason Todd, I don't know much like how he just found him like a street kid, right?
Yeah, so with Jason, it's usually like his dad was a drug dealer who would abuse the mom, and then the mom, like, there's been some backstory that she, overdosed and died and left him alone. But in the comics, at least for the ones that I read, the reason that they go to that other country where Jason eventually dies is because he found a message stating that his mother was there. And in some continuity she is there, sometimes she's not. I don't really know what's canon or not when it comes to that, because that's a bit of an older story. So that like even adds more to it as to why Jason dies, he died looking for his mom, basically. But it's always Joker that kills him, beats him to death or half to death with a crowbar, and then there's the explosion. Do you know apparently when Jason was originally introduced in the comics and had his run, people didn't like him as Robin, and there was actually a call-in to like cast a vote. Like, you call one number if you want him to die, and another number if you want him to survive. And apparently this one guy like rigged a like automatic calling thing, and that's the reason Jason dies in the comics. It's because this one guy like rigged it to keep voting for him to die. And I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks because he's actually my favorite Robin, but then we get like Red Hood out of that, so it's kind of cool.
No, it definitely is. Well, I also think just like, I think for a lot of people, Dick Grayson is like everybody's like original Robin.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's like that's also part of it. But
oh yeah, of course, because he like people were like, oh, he can't live up to Dick Grayson.
For me, I'm more like, I do like Dick Grayson, but like I've been getting more into Damian. I mean, there's I mean, he's in a couple movies right now, and like I would want to see kind of like especially like a live action, like him, like mentioning like him, because I feel like it's been a minute I've seen like Robin in a live action movie.
Yeah.
Because even in the Dark Knight series, I don't think Robin was in there, was he? No, right?
In a way.
Yeah, like,
as
but
like
not.
his name's Robin, haha, there's a little Easter egg for you.
Yeah, but then not like nothing like big. Like I like
Yeah.
oh, I think wasn't there like was it in the DC like was it in the Justice League movie? There was like or it might have been a Batman one where they mentioned like the death of like Todd or Jason or something, or Tim,
Yeah.
was it Tim Drake?
Well, they don't say which Robin it is,
Yeah.
per se, but he has the staff, which is a Tim Drake thing.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, but there's no other Robins mentioned, so it could just be, Dick, and they just gave him Tim's staff or something. They never really went into it. Probably never will, because it doesn't seem like those movies are ever continuing. So we'll see.
Oh,
um, but yeah, they had this standoff, and they have that talk, and finally Jason's like, well, you have to choose. Either you shoot him or I shoot him. Like, either way he's gonna die. Or you can shoot me and stop him from dying. But you have to choose. And he throws Batman a gun, and Batman's just like, no. And he drops the gun, turns away, and Jason starts freaking out. He's like, no, you have to choose. He's like yelling at him. And then he pulls the gun away from Joker's head, points it at Batman, and Batman like drops a mini batarang into his hand from his glove, and he hears like the gun start to cock, and he's able to dodge the bullet, throw the like mini batarang into the gun. Jason shoots again, and it like causes the gun to explode. So Joker starts like, oh my god, you did it, you actually did it, in a way where you couldn't win, you won, like this is crazy. And then it's revealed that there's a bomb planted. He's like, no, this is better, you don't stop the bomb. Like he grabs Batman, he's like, oh, you're not gonna ruin this for me.
that was so funny.
Yeah, it's like nobody wins except for me. I'm the only one getting what I want today.
I thought of Dr. Draken the entire time when you're saying that. It's like, no, wait, this is better.
But yeah, the bomb is about to go off. Batman finally gets Joker off of him and runs to get Jason, and then we just see the huge explosion, and there's nothing but rubble left, and Batman gets up, and we see the Joker like all fucked up but still alive, with no sign of Jason anywhere to be found. So I'm assuming he drops the Joker back off at Arkham, goes back to the Batcave, and Alfred's there, and is like, Batman's looking at Jason's old Robin uniform, and Alfred's like, because of everything that just happened, would you want me to take that down? Batman's like, no, this doesn't change anything. This changes absolutely nothing. And he walks away, and that's when we get one last flashback of Jason wearing the outfit again for the first time. Actually, it's the first time he ever put it on, and he's all excited about it, and he's like, this is the best night of my life. And that's the last thing we hear in the movie, and it just cuts off. And that hit me so hard. I was like, oh no.
That's something that Batman does like. He likes to keep his things.
Yeah, Batman likes keeping things.
Yeah. I like what that lady just mentioned. It's like, yeah, he just does that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the movie. What did you think?
I mean, I liked. It was very fun. I really liked it. For me, it was 10 out of 10.
Oh.
I would say. I mean, it's just like I just wish it was like a little longer.
Yeah.
Is the only thing. It's just like you're saying, like I mean, there's so much lore.
Yeah.
I wish like there's a little bit more, but at the same time, it's just kind of like this is just the little chapter into like of like Jason Todd, and it's so iconic. It's just like whenever we hear about like Jason Todd, this is like I want to say like a big factor that like his origin story. I guess this would be his origin story, wouldn't
Basically,
he?
yeah.
As Red Hood.
Yeah.
Not so much like
not as Jason Todd himself or Robin, but this is his main origin story as Red Hood.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big jump from what he used to be.
No, yeah.
But it's funny that you say you wish it was longer, because they actually came out with kind of like a pseudo sequel / remake type of thing. It was a direct to Blu-ray movie called Death in the Family, which is actually the name of the comic where Jason dies originally. It's called Death in the Family.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about this movie, I saw that it was available on HBO Max. So I went in and, you know, I watched it. And I knew that it was like a choose your own adventure type of thing. Like different things would happen. You could choose what the characters would do. So I'm sitting here watching basically the same movie we just watched. And no options are popping up for me. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Maybe it's like after, like maybe they just do this whole first part of the Red Hood movie and then there's going to be like extended stuff after and that's when it'll kick in. But then basically this movie ends and it's just Bruce telling Superman the story of everything he went through with Red Hood being Jason, and you know, getting that like bro pep talk from him, and then it just ends and I was like, what the fuck? So that's when I find out that the choice thing is actually only available on the Blu-ray. So I'm like, okay, well, I can dish out like $40 for a Blu-ray, you know. I really like I really like Batman. I like the Under the Red Hood storyline. I like Jason. Why not?
Yeah.
So I look it up and I see that it has horrible reviews and it is available brand new on Amazon for $5 for a Blu-ray. I was like, oh, that's really
What
bad.
a steal.
It's like that's really bad. That does not bode well. So I get it. I pop it in to my player and I start going through. Now, the choices start as soon as the original scene of Batman trying to save Jason from the warehouse. So you can choose for it to be like Jason dies the way he usually does, or he lives. If he lives, Batman dies.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And if memory serves, it could actually be that Batman... No, Batman does die. Yeah. So then he's still fucked up from the blast and from being, you know, messed up by the crowbar with Joker. So he has to be brought home to recover, and the whole Bat family's there, you know, missing Bruce and all that, wondering like what's next for them. And then you have choices like, you know, it shows Jason doing different things. Is he going to be brutal? Is he not going to be brutal? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? And it's just like different endings. So you get one, you know, the regular ending would be the one we had in this movie, which is him becoming Red Hood. Yeah. You have an ending where he becomes Red Robin, which is really fucking weird because Red Robin is Tim Drake, not Jason Todd. There he is as Red Robin, and it's basically just him as the Red Hood, but calling himself Red Robin, like he's still using the guns and all that. And funny enough, in the Red Robin ending, he meets Tim Drake. Because he's being brutal and like killing people, and Tim picks up a gun and it's like, you have to stop. And that's kind of like what kicks him back into being, you know, a good guy. He starts training Tim to be the next Robin. In that ending, you have an ending where Joker is kind of reformed because Batman died. And that's a thing they like to do when Batman is no longer in the picture. Joker just reforms himself. He turns to a normal person. And he's sitting at like a cafe. Jason, I mean, is sitting at a cafe, just talking to like the waitress and getting something to eat. Some guy just starts talking to him. It's a normal guy. But then throughout the conversation, he gets like little hints that it's Joker. And then the makeup starts to wipe away and you see the white skin, and then he just fucking kills him. And then there's even one ending where I think he's still just regular Red Hood. But it was an ending where Batman died. And you know, this is how he looks in this movie, by the way. Instead of the opaque eyes, you get to see his real eyes, and for some reason to me he looks a little younger. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of different animation style.
I say he still looks like Jason Todd to me.
Yeah, but he just looks, to me he looks a little younger. I don't know. But in this one other ending that I can remember, it's basically an ending where Batman dies, but he still becomes the Red Hood, and he's like enforcing, you know, his rule over Gotham in honor of Batman, but he's still killing and stuff. And then it's basically the same thing but in reverse of what happens in this movie, where Batman was restored in the Lazarus pit and his mind is broken, but instead of like going psycho, he's kind of just like, he can't talk, he's only repeating like this one phrase over and over. I think it's Zur and R.
For some reason, I kind of imagined like Batman putting on the Robin costume for the first time. It's kind of like a reverse, but kind of like weird. I was just like, that's kind of weird to imagine.
But
Yeah.
he just keeps saying this one thing over and over called Zur and R, and they have like this big battle, and I think two endings come out of this. Either him and Jason both die, or Jason rescues him and tries to rehabilitate him, but he's basically just in a cage saying Zur and R over and over again, and you find out that Zur and R is like a memory of when he was a kid, like something his mother said, and he's trying to repeat the phrase, but it's just, fragmented. It was something to do with Arkham. That's where the R comes from. And that's pretty much it. It was just like mini stories, basically. They even had like an entirely different story that had nothing to do with Batman or Jason or anything in it involved in that movie. And it was just such a massive flop. Like, nobody liked it.
It still sounds interesting though. It's very, and these kind of sounds like very Telltale-esque.
Yeah, in a way, I guess. I just wish that there was like more options and more paths. Like, I think they could have gone better doing like a Telltale game, honestly. I would love a Telltale like Red Hood game. That'd be so good.
Because I know there's a Batman one, but I don't think there's one with Red Hood.
No, in the Batman Telltale games, by the way, I've played the first one on stream if you want to check that out on my channel, youtube.com/Lizerville. It's even before he has a Robin, it's still like pretty early Batman.
It's like it's early Joker too.
In the second game, yeah.
Oh, is it? Because I played the second one, I think.
Yeah, I still plan on playing that one on stream.
Nice.
Joker is seen in the first game, but he's just John Doe. I mean, like, we all know it's Joker. Like, no fucking way it's not Joker. Yeah. But yeah, he's just John Doe. He's not Joker until the ending of the second game. But I would have loved for them to continue that and eventually give us the Robins and stuff like that. I would love that. I love the Telltale, like, choose your own ending type of shit. Even though, their later games, like, choose your own thing, and none of the options really mattered, to be honest. Like, towards the later days of them. I remember playing The Walking Dead, and it'd be like, you gotta do this to survive. You gotta press this button. And I would, like, it would be like, press X, and I'd press square because I'm a fucking idiot. But it still counted as a success. I was like, oh, okay.
I always I like the way you make two people that you attach to, and then you're like, all right, you gotta pick one, the other one dies.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes it would throw you in a loop where it's just kind of like, okay, you pick your favorite, and like it reverses it, and that's the one that ends up dying.
God damn it.
That's how I'm gonna win.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they're back. They're gonna be doing Wolf Among Us season 2, which season 1 was fantastic, and they announced season 2 years ago, and then they had the whole thing of the studio closing down. Then they got bought out again, and they said, well, we're gonna revive it, and they announced the Wolf Among Us 2 again, and then there was like radio silence for like 2 years, and then out of nowhere they're like, yeah, it's releasing soon, and then I haven't heard anything since then.
Yeah, I did like those games. Even like what was it? Oh, my brain just farted. The Until Dawn games. That one was pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, that's not Telltale, but that's the same like style of game, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But speaking of games and, Jason Todd, which this might be a spoiler alert if you haven't played the Arkham series of Batman games, but in Batman Arkham Knight, which is the final game in the Arkham franchise, Arkham Knight, the titular character, is basically just Red Hood. And when they were doing the trailers for the game, everyone was like, oh, that's Red Hood, that's Jason Todd. And they're like, no, it's not him. This is a completely original character. Like, we get why you're saying that, but no, this is a character that's never been seen before in any Batman comics or movies or anything like that. It's completely original. We made him up. Like, oh, okay, cool. Well, it's nice to see that they're, doing something original. And then it was just fucking Red Hood. It was just Jason Todd. Like
they try to play it up, yeah.
Yeah, but like that was fucking like false advertisement. Like, I was hyped for a new character. I mean, I love Jason, but you could have just made it Red Hood. You didn't have to do the whole Arkham Knight thing. That kind of like made it corny. Honestly, I feel like that kind of ruined it for me.
I still liked it for the lore. I mean, it's just like,
yeah, it was literally the same exact lore. Like, everything was still the same. All they did was, instead of putting him in a red hood, they put him in a blue one. And then once the blue one came off, there was another hood underneath, and that one was red, which was fucking stupid.
I wonder if there's like a mod that you could put, and instead of Dark Knight, it actually looks like Red Hood. I think that'd be pretty.
Oh, you don't even need a mod; it's in the game. They have
yeah,
they have an alternate costume where he's just Red Hood.
Oh,
because in the lore, after you beat him in the game and everything, he becomes Red Hood.
Okay.
Which is why the hood turns red at the end when you crack the blue one. He just like rips it off. It's like a shielding, and underneath that is a second hood, and that one is red.
It's like a Kakashi mask.
Basically, yeah.
It's another mask. Oh my god.
But yeah, I think that's a more, I'm a little disappointed in the way that they executed that storyline, but that's a more fleshed out version of Red Hood than this movie, being that this movie is just like a little over an hour. You don't get much content. Meanwhile, a game is longer than a movie by a wide margin. You get to see more, get more in depth. There's even DLC for him for Red Hood. So if you want that, you can play that game, or you can just go watch the comics. Go watch the comics. Go read the comics.
Or you can watch the gameplay.
Yeah, on youtube.com/Lizerville. Because I played through every Arkham game, every mainline Arkham game at least.
Yeah. More of this podcast on each episode that he streams.
And then if you want even more Jason Todd Red Hood shenanigans, Titans on HBO Max. Jason Todd is introduced season 1 of Titans as Robin. He's there for a couple episodes. He might be in season 2 as well. I don't remember. But season 3, he's introduced as Red Hood.
Because I mean, last time I heard about Titans, like, I know there was like on hiatus or whatever, because like it was like there was a freak accident that happened on set, and like I don't know if it was like an actor or one of like the side like people like helping out, like their head got like cut off.
Nice.
I'm
I
like
had no idea that happened. Oh my god.
From a freak accident. So
Jesus.
like I don't know. Kind of like similar when like the thing with recently happened with
Rust.
No, with Alec Baldwin that
Rust.
Oh, was that Rust?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
like
also involved someone from Supernatural. Wow, look at that. It all connects.
Who's the someone in that one? That was Supernatural.
Jensen Ackles, it's him.
Oh, he was in that. Oh,
he's in that movie.
Oh shit. Small world.
Yeah. It's all come full circle.
All come circle.
Yeah, I'm glad that you liked this and you rated it a 10. This is one of my favorite movies. It's not my favorite movie. Obviously, we all know what that is, but it's one of my favorite movies. And
like
I love this character. I wish he got more respect, more love.
I haven't like rewatched this movie, but like each time I watch it, like there's no way like I could just like stop in the middle of watching. Like I watched it during work, and like I thought it would be longer because like usually I do have an hour before the store opens. Okay, I'm just gonna put this on, and like while I'm just like getting and prepping everything, I'm just gonna like just listen to the audio. And next thing I knew, like before, like around like when the store like first opened, like it just ended. I was like that was pretty quickly.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I'd probably also rate it a 10. You know what? I'll go down. I'll say a 9, just because I wish it was more fleshed out. I wish it was a little longer. I think this movie could do for like, a remake where they focus more on the backstory of Jason and the relationship with Batman. Make it a longer movie like the ones they do now, and like with the quality that they do now too. I think it'll really benefit. I think it's pretty hard to mess up this storyline.
also wouldn't mind one for Tim Drake, because to be honest, I think he's the only Robin I know the least.
That's because he sucks. Tim Drake fucking sucks. I'll say it. I don't care. Tim Drake fucking sucks, dude.
I mean, he uses he uses a bow staff, right?
Oh yeah, wow, super cool.
Yeah, I mean, like it's very Donatello. So I'm like, cause like I don't really know much about it. Like every other one I know.
Yeah.
Like so
Tim Drake was literally just some kid that like was like, "Hey, you're Bruce Wayne," and Batman was like, "How the fuck? What? Come work for me."
I mean, I did like Barbara Gordon as Robin, Batgirl.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like even that was a better Robin. But like I know more about her.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Drake is fine. I just think they choose to do a lot of stupid things with his character. I think he can be done better. But
Yeah.
my favorite Robin is Jason, just because of everything he goes through, and in the end, he still ends up being a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before I give us Jay's choice for next week?
No, yeah, go ahead. I think we covered a lot.
All right. So I don't know anything about this anime. Would have been nice if he would have gave me like a short summary or something to say what it is. He just told me the name and I got a picture. So it's called Beyond the Boundary.
Oh my God.
You know of it?
I do know of it. Yeah, sadly.
Sadly? Oh no.
I mean, I know about it. It's pretty good. You know what? Even if I had to tell you, I don't really know how to best describe it.
I know it has
Yeah.
like supernatural stuff in it.
No, it definitely has supernatural stuff. The main girl's magic. I mean, I think pretty much.
But your
You know,
reaction has me a little scared of what I'm, to expect.
I might be downplaying it a lot, to be honest. Like I want to say like the way that it's like animated itself is pretty good. Like
I mean, just
definitely
from this, I can tell that it looks pretty nice.
yeah, like it does have its moments. It's very animated nicely. It does have like a movie. It might have a second
Yeah, I saw that
movie.
there was a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think it might have like a second season, or it might. I think instead of a third season, they made the movie instead.
Mm.
I haven't like finished it or watched the movie, but like it definitely was pretty popular when it first came out. It is from Sentai Works, so
Pretty popular
so
studio.
yeah, so it definitely like it doesn't like I don't think you'll be like too bored with it. I mean, like I feel like it would rate better compared to Red Line. Like so, at least I would say, like
Alright.
as far as like plot and everything. But I mean, we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see. We'll see next week. So tune in for that. And thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.